Very interesting question. If I got a chance to turn back my life, what would I do? I find it a little bit hard to answer the question because I live my life by saying that no regrets. Okay. So if I've known and what would I have done, if I know my life purpose much more earlier, I would probably rewind back to the day when as early as possible, even when I'm in primary school or secondary school. And knowing that purpose and continue to live that purpose, and I believe that I would achieve a lot more right now. You see, the difficult part of it is that this goes to if you have kids and your kids are very very smart, you know, this is a downside I can tell you about it because your kids could be very good in all the subjects. That's where the difficult part is because he's so good in all these different subjects. What should he be doing? What is his ambition? What is his purpose? He's so good in every single subject. He could do this. He could be a doctor. He could be an engineer. He could be anything that he wants. Versus someone who failed every single other subject but only good in science, for example. I think it's pretty clear on what he wanted to do. Right? So unfortunately, I fall under the camp that I'm a straight A student, so to speak, and it took me a while to figure out what truly matters to me. And to share with you, you want to ever discover a life purpose, I found that these three things is very important. It's equivalent to, I call it the Christmas Carol. You know a Charles Dickens story, A Christmas Carol? Like, no, not really, right? Okay, let me share something with you. It has to do with, if you want to discover your purpose in life, there are many ways to do it, but this is one way that I've done and I found it is that rewind back to a moment in your past when you're a child, as young as you can remember, when you have this dream of doing something when you grow older. It could be like, you have this dream of wanting to become an astronaut. But it doesn't mean that you truly want to become an astronaut, but it could mean something behind that is that you always wanted to work at the forefront of, or the frontier of a certain knowledge. Right? It could mean something. You ask yourself, why? Why would you want to aspire to become an astronaut? And then you realize this, and then you peel further in, you realize that, oh, I see what truly I wanted to do. You see, when I was young, right, I have these dreams that I'm the king of a country. And the country is such that it has the best technology anyone can imagine. I was like 7 years old. I can imagine that virtual reality. I can imagine like what you call technology that can sense and recognize your intention. So that at the immigration, only good people are allowed into my country, right? And for some reason, I thought that I'm really an engineering guy because I imagine all this cool technology. I wanted to become an engineer. And when I peel back the layers, I found that it's actually beyond the technology. At the end, why? It's actually really about the people. It's about the people of the country. But technology is just a means, right? That's how I peeled through and found that it's actually more about the people. And then to the present, I was involved in a training camp, so to speak, that they put me to like strenuous exercise until you drain off all your energy and they drain off all your emotions. When you no longer have a baggage of emotions, attachment, everything, suddenly you see clarity as well. It becomes clear to you uh, what you wanted to do. And the third thing is the second thing. The third thing is that if you just fast forward to your last day on Earth, I ask myself, if today's my last day on Earth, last hour on Earth, what do I want to hear from the people around me? Is it, hey KL, thanks, for we worked together in this project, 10 years ago creating this technology? No, not really. What I truly want to hear the folks around me to say is that, thank you, KL. You make a difference in my life. And that's how I figure out my life purpose. The part that come to me, why it's important, is simply put, like what I mentioned earlier, that I say that if I'm to leave this world, fast forward to my last day on earth, what do I want to be known by? What is my legacy? Is it the technology that I've built? Or is it the people that I've touched that I've, helped change their life? And I realized that it is the people that matters more to me. Hearing them say that, hey, KL, thanks. Thanks for making a difference in my life. And that what tells me, telling me that, yes, my life purpose is right.
Could you share with us a little bit about your daily disciplines, what you do on a daily basis?
Okay, since
your ritual, just a little bit about that. And then do you have a vision? How do you visualize that vision?
Yeah.
Maybe share with us your vision board if you have something like that.
Yeah.
Or even your mind map if you have any of that.
I have my
Very
picture of my
briefly,
vision board. Yeah.
A quick
Yeah.
glance through.
Yeah. So there are two things I practice on a daily basis. One is after I woke up before I go to work. Some call it priming, and some call it prayers. And I didn't know I was doing it alone until when I was having a chat with Peter too, and I would write up some other coaches, people like Tony Robbins, Robin Sharma. Then I realized that, oh, wait a minute, looks like they are doing those as well, but obviously in a slightly different manner, right? So what do I do? Um, it is a process of visualization, right? A process of visualization. It's a process that you visualize at the beginning of the day, right? That you are living your successes. You're living who you aspire to be, as if you're already there. So you visualize that who you are, what you are doing, right? You can smell, not just see, smell, hear about those. For example, I will visualize myself like standing in front of 2,000 crowds. I said, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me in this program today. And everybody stands up and gave a standing ovation. Right? Then feel those things that tingles in your body when you visualize that. If you want, you can turn on a music that sounds empowering. The more you engage the five senses, the more powerful is it. Okay? And besides that, I also do this. Okay, I also always imagine and pray for my family and my other immediate families, my relatives as well as for one of my colleagues who is undergoing a stage 4 cancer. Okay. So I do this as well, and it's about prayers for them. When I do prayers, I do it in a positive way. I don't say, please, 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 no negative things happen to them. Please, no harm comes to them. I don't do that. I say that I pray that they have abundance. Talk in terms of positive. I pray that they are happy, right? And the other thing that I do is that very critical. That there are a couple of things that I do. They call it this exercise of energy or exercise of light, however you want to believe it. The first one is that I imagine that there is, lights have different colors across the spectrum. I imagine a purple color shining down on me, going through every single fiber of my body. And I tell myself that I forgive myself. Why is it that important? Because that is a process of helping me to let go. Let go of emotions, let go of whatever thing that doesn't go right the other day, the previous day. Let it go. I forgive myself. I forgive others. Let it go. Get a fresh start. Then the next thing that I do is I imagine a blue light, a spotlight shining down on me again, penetrating every single fiber of my body. And then I repeat after myself, I am strong within and around me. Why this is important? This is to prime me to think that in every situation, I have a choice and I have a power to act. It is not to say that not to get into a state that feel being a victim of circumstances. And thirdly, I imagine another color of light, spotlight shining down on me. This is called the rose gold color. And with this, I I repeat after myself that I have abundance of love for myself and also abundance of love for the people around me, and thus receive abundance of love from the people around me. I and I do that. Okay. And obviously, there's one last one. It's called cleansing. Cleansing is I imagine white light shining down on me, and I breathe in and out as I'm leaving that light, cleanses my body. I repeat that 3 times. Breathe in, breathe out with the white light shining down on me. That is my daily morning ritual. And evening ritual, what I do? Evening ritual is that after I've taken my dinner, my bath, I look myself in the mirror. I told myself, I'm KL Phang. Thank you. Thank you. And I imagine, I recall back all the things that I've done for that day that I'm grateful for. Right? Everything, 10 things. Things are like, yeah, I talked to my boss about something that is challenging for me to talk about. Yeah. I had a meeting. Sometimes, although the outcome is not quite what I wanted, but I get that, I get the feedback that I required. I fetched my daughter to school, got a chance to talk to her. I fetched my son back from school. He's always playful. All those things. For the fact that I'm breathing, for example. Right? So what it does is that when I tried this, I was a little bit skeptic beginning. I'm very afraid that I turn into a person that becomes, like what the Malay saying goes, tak apa lah, something doesn't happen, tak apa lah, tak apa lah, it's okay. But actually, it doesn't happen that way. What it actually does for me is that it helps me to be grounded in a way that for every single thing that doesn't work out right for me, there are 9 other things that will have worked out right. Therefore, I can deal with that one single thing, not a problem. It doesn't appear like a big, big giant mountain to go and address it.